I hear this all the time and I get it. You say, I'm doing the work, but nothing's changing. My life still looks the same. Why isn't this working for me? So let's see if we can make it really clear. If nothing is changing in your life, it's because something is still being repeated. And it's the same thoughts and words and the same way you talk about your life. And that repetition is what keeps your life the same. Let me give you a simple example. Let's say you're always running late. You're late to work, you're late to meetings, you're late to everything. Now, listen to how you talk about it. Really think about this. Do you find yourself running in your mind? I'm always late. I'm running late again. I can't seem to get anywhere on time. Think about it. If that's what you keep saying, then that's what you're going to keep experiencing because you're repeating it, and that's how this works. You're thinking it, you're saying it, you're telling other people. So it becomes normal for you, and you don't even realize you're doing it. And whatever feels normal is what you keep living. That's how this works. Now, here's where people get stuck. They try to change it for a little while and they say something different because they've learned a little bit about manifestation. And they try really strongly to think differently, but they don't stay with it. And the reason people don't stay with it is because they don't fully believe it yet. They don't believe that changing what they say could possibly change what they experience. But that's because they're not connecting the repetition. That's what makes it dominant ideas, dominant thoughts. So they go at it for a bit, and then they stop. And when they stop, everything goes right back to the old pattern. It must. The old thoughts, the old words, the same behavior. So, of course, the results don't change because repetition is what builds. So, if you're still thinking the same way, talking about your life the same way, and behaving the same way, you're still behaving as the old identity. And so you're going to keep getting the same result. The outer always matches the inner. So, what do you actually do? Well, you start with awareness. You notice what you're saying, and not once, but what keeps coming out of your mouth, what keeps running through your mind, what you keep going back to. And then you stop it, even mid sentence. You don't keep explaining it, you don't keep going over it. You stop, and then you replace it. You say something different. You begin telling yourself, I'm on time. I get where I need to be easily. I leave earlier. And you keep going with that because the more you repeat something new, the more natural it becomes. And when it becomes natural, that's when it starts to show up in your life. Now, about how you feel. People talk about the feelings and they wait to feel different first. But that's not how it works either. The feeling follows what you keep thinking. So if a feeling is sticking around, it's because it's being fed. It's being fed by the same thoughts and words and same conversations. Change what you're feeding, and the feeling changes too. That's the order. Now, one more piece. This is not so hard to understand, it's just different, but it does take two things. You change the pattern and you stay with it. That's it. And this is also why people go in circles with this. They want change. They really do. And they try for a little while, but they're not convinced they can actually have it. And so they don't stay with it long enough to find they can believe it and trust it. And so everything goes back. So you have to decide, am I going to keep repeating the same thing? Or am I going to stay with something new long enough for it to take hold, because that's where the change happens. Now, this is also the part that's hard to see on your own because you're in it, and the way you think and speak has become somewhat of a habit. You don't always hear what you're saying, you don't always catch what you're repeating. And that's exactly why I started the New Story Lab. I wanted a way to work with people directly without it needing to be a private session. So we meet twice a week, and you bring what you're dealing with, and we look at what you're actually repeating, what you're saying, thinking, and going back into when you're going back into the same pattern. And I help you see it clearly and change it. Because once you can see it, you know what to do. And we're together live, so I can walk you through this and you can see it happening in real time. And that's what makes the difference. Stay well, friends. I promise you can do this. Bye for now.